Take a moment, just pause and consider this. What's one area in your life right now where you feel like you're constantly striving,
Hmm.
trying to force an outcome, when maybe, just maybe, what's really needed is a shift towards trust. Today we're going on a deep dive. We're exploring the profound power and often hidden purpose behind those exact moments, those times we're just waiting. We'll try and uncover some surprising insights about what it really means to wait and why it might just be one of the most, powerful things you can actually do.
It's true. It's so common, isn't it, to view periods of stillness or, delay as unproductive, maybe even as personal failures.
Yeah.
In a world that just demands speed, constantly accelerating, it's just so easy to dismiss these moments as, well, stagnation, nothing happening. But what if that's not the case? What if those seemingly inert periods are, in fact, incredibly active, deeply meaningful, and maybe specifically designed for your growth? We really invite you to step back with us and consider a radically different perspective on these crucial pauses in life's journey.
Yeah, our culture, as we know, it's just absolutely obsessed with velocity, with immediate results, lightning fast internet, next day delivery. Yeah, we're conditioned, aren't we, to expect everything right now. Think that instant gratification isn't just a desire anymore, it's practically an expectation. So it's really no wonder that waiting often feels like a weakness
Hmm.
or a failure or just plain wasted time. We've sort of been taught to see delays as these obstacles we have to aggressively overcome, push through sheer willpower, or even just avoid them altogether. But is that really the whole story?
That's exactly where I think our modern view often falls short. Waiting, contrary to how it feels sometimes, it isn't passive surrender. It's not about doing nothing at all. Instead, it can be an active demonstration of profound courage, real, quiet, steadfast strength. It demands significant resolve, doesn't it? To trust a timeline that extends far beyond our immediate grasp. To really believe that something greater is actively at work, even when the path ahead seems, well, foggy or maybe completely still. It really challenges that fundamental human urge we all have to control and manipulate every single outcome.
And this isn't just some, new age idea or a modern self-help concept. This runs deep. This idea echoes through ancient wisdom. There's a profound truth that's guided people for millennia. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Hmm. That repetition. It's not accidental, is it? It's not just telling us to wait, but it's this powerful, almost rhythmic call to muster inner strength, real courage while you wait. It's inviting us into a certain posture of the heart.
Indeed. It's beautiful, really. This ancient counsel profoundly reframes waiting. It transforms it from what feels like a burden into something purposeful, maybe even sacred. It urges us, to consider that there might be a deeper design at play, an orchestrating presence that's actively shaping circumstances. Even when things look completely still to our, let's face it, limited sight, these aren't just random delays or arbitrary setbacks. They are often what we might call divine strategies, or maybe divine appointments. And by that we mean purposeful orchestrations, where unseen forces are arranging circumstances, creating specific opportunities that emerge precisely when you're ready, not a moment before. They aren't detours from your path. They're integral, intentional parts of a much larger, wise plan. Like the timeless saying goes, an orchestrating presence is never late. It's always working meticulously behind the scenes, always.
Okay, so we've talked about the feeling of waiting, that frustration, that sense of being stuck. But what if we zoom out a bit? What's actually happening during these moments? What's the deeper purpose behind the pause? Here's where it gets really interesting. What if these delays aren't denials or roadblocks? What if there's something else entirely, like a profound process designed just for you?
That's the core realization, isn't it? These periods aren't arbitrary setbacks. They truly are orchestrated delays, these purposeful pauses woven into a larger narrative. They aren't interruptions to your path, they are intrinsic parts of a wise, overarching design. And understanding that reinforces the idea that there's an active, orchestrating presence at work, even when things seem completely dormant to us. The truth is, the unseen hand is never late. It's always preparing the way, perfecting the timing, even when our immediate perception sees only inaction.
And what are these divine strategies for exactly? What kind of transformation can actually happen in these waiting seasons?
Well, these waiting seasons have incredibly specific transformative purposes. They're designed to shape us in ways that, frankly, immediate gratification never could. They prepare us, not just for what's coming, but to receive what's coming in the right way. And they draw us into a deeper understanding of ourselves, our purpose. Think of it like like a master artisan crafting a masterpiece. They don't just slap paint on a canvas and call it done right. No, they layer. They let parts dry. They step back. They refine. Sometimes they leave it untouched for days, allowing elements to settle. This isn't wasted time. It's absolutely essential to the creative process.
Or maybe like a tiny seed germinating underground. From the surface, it looks completely inert. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
But it's anything but dormant down there. Beneath the soil, it's actively transforming, developing roots, gathering strength, preparing for that, explosive breakthrough. It's building resilience, developing its core, getting ready to burst forth with life. Does that mean some waiting is more about creation than just endurance?
Exactly. It's not just endurance, it's deep internal work. These periods are profound opportunities for spiritual growth, for renewing our strength and stillness, for maturing our faith. It's often in the quiet, patient moments that we find our greatest development. We learn patience, sure, but also humility, discernment. We learn to truly listen not just to the noise outside, but to our own inner compass, ensuring that when the door does open, we're not just ready, but we're aligned with our true purpose. It ultimately leads to greater outcomes, deeper understanding than we could have ever conceived on our own timeline. It's really about building a capacity you didn't even know you needed for something you haven't yet seen.
Okay, let's make this a bit more tangible. To make these ideas, which can feel a bit abstract, more relatable, let's turn to some real-world examples, stories that really illustrate these principles powerfully. Stories of patient trust that bring this wisdom to life, showing us that waiting, when it's done with intention, is, well, it's never wasted.
Yeah, one powerful example that comes to mind involves a couple. They were facing really unexpected and significant delays with their international adoption paperwork. This was back in early 2024. They'd been anticipating their child for months, dreaming, preparing, and then they just hit this wall, what felt like endless red tape, prolonged waiting. Every phone call seemed to lead nowhere, just another bureaucratic hurdle. Now, this challenge, it could have easily led them to despair, right? Or bitterness. They could have even abandoned the whole process.
Oh, absolutely. That's the kind of situation that makes you want to just, pound on tables and demand answers.
Yeah.
So what did they do? How did they handle it? And instead of losing hope.
Well, rather than succumbing to that understandable frustration, they chose a different path entirely. They used that unexpected time, that forced pause, to prepare their home even more thoroughly than they'd initially planned. They really transformed it into a true sanctuary. They also deepened their marriage. They leaned on each other, strengthening their bond, knowing that the foundation for their new family needed to be incredibly solid. And crucially, they also connected with a support group, other adoptive parents who understood the journey. They gained wisdom, community. So when the adoption was finally approved, they didn't just get their child, they realized something profound, that the waiting season had matured their faith, prepared them in ways they hadn't foreseen. It equipped them for something even greater than they had imagined. The delay wasn't a denial, it was preparation. Deep preparation.
Wow. That's powerful. And then there's another story, right? The small business owner in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted funding for a community-based wellness center. Her vision was crystal clear. Her passion was undeniable. But her journey, it was marked by years. Years of closed doors, rejection after rejection from traditional lenders. It would have been so easy to quit. Just throw in the towel, especially when resources were probably dwindling.
And many people would have, absolutely. But she, much like the couple, chose perseverance rooted in purpose. Instead of giving up, she focused on serving her community in smaller, more accessible ways. Right where she was, she started offering free workshops in local parks, doing pop-up wellness events in community centers, building a network of volunteers. This quiet, consistent service, it built an incredible amount of goodwill, a really loyal following.
So what happened? What was the breakthrough after all those years of what must have felt like constant rejection?
Well, approximately 2 years after starting this relentless pursuit, this unique grant opportunity emerged. It was from a local nonprofit. And this specific grant, it was tailor-made for community-based wellness initiatives that had a proven track record of local engagement. It literally wouldn't have been available, or she wouldn't have qualified had she rushed the process earlier or, gotten funding through a more conventional path. Her dedication to serving first, rather than just striving solely for the funding, positioned her perfectly. Her story is such a vivid reminder that these apparent delays, these closed doors, they often lead to greater doors, doors that were previously unseen or maybe didn't even exist yet.
What connects both of these narratives, these stories, is such a powerful common thread, isn't it? Waiting, when it's done in faith with active intention, it's just never wasted. These stories really illustrate how patience and trust can unlock blessings we couldn't foresee and lead to a more profound outcome than we initially conceived. The waiting wasn't a punishment at all. It was actually a pathway to something better, something uniquely suited for them.
Exactly. It's the crucial difference between merely wishing for something and truly being prepared for it. That period of waiting allows us to grow into the kind of people who can not only receive the blessing, but also sustain it and really thrive within it.
So, okay, let's bring this home. What does this all mean for you, listening right now in your own life? We've talked about this contrast between striving and trusting. How do we actually apply that, apply it to our everyday challenges, when every fiber of our being just wants to make things happen now?
Yeah, that's the practical question. In this context, when we talk about striving, we mean that relentless pursuit of outcomes driven purely by willpower,
Mm.
often coupled with impatience, right? And that feeling of needing to control every single variable. It's that exhausting sense of constantly pushing uphill, relying solely on our own efforts, our own timelines. And it frequently leads to burnout or disillusionment when things inevitably don't go exactly as we planned. It's that belief that if you just work harder, push longer, you'll somehow force the outcome you want.
Right. But how do we tell that apart from just, genuine effort? Purposeful action. There's a difference, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial distinction. Striving, in this sense, it's about a lack of surrender. It's a refusal to acknowledge that maybe some elements are beyond our direct control. Contrasting that is the immense power of truly trusting. This means surrendering to a higher timing, believing that unseen work is happening even in the stillness, having deep confidence that an orchestrating presence is actively at work on your behalf. It's about doing what you can do with excellence, absolutely, but then releasing the outcome with faith, trusting the process. The ultimate takeaway from all of this, I believe, is clear that orchestrating presence's timing is always worth the wait, and it often far surpasses our own limited imagination. Always.
That shift, just shifting the perspective and the action, it can be truly transformative. It's about letting go of that intense need we have to control everything, and instead choosing to hold on to hope, remaining faithful during a season of waiting, knowing deep down that every purposeful pause is setting you up for something incredible, something precisely calibrated just for you. It really becomes a journey of self-discovery as much as it is about whatever external outcome we're hoping for.
It really is. It's about remembering that stillness isn't absence. It's often the very space where profound creation and transformation are taking place, right under the surface. And it requires courage, real courage to step into that stillness, to resist the urge to fill every single moment with frantic activity, and to trust. Trust that even in the quiet, you are being prepared for something truly profound.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, we've explored how waiting isn't passive at all. It's an active demonstration of courage, of strength. It can be a divine strategy for shaping us, preparing us. It's really clear that patient trust holds truly transformative power.
So reflect once more, maybe even right now. In what specific area of your life can you, right at this moment, choose to release that urge to strive, that need to force it, and instead embrace the strength of patient faith, trusting, really trusting, that every purposeful pause is preparing you for something truly profound?